Tsepo did say earlier, from what I remember, that on one occasion we talked about gender mainstreaming. This question about women leaders. By and large, on the African continent, by and large, we inherit patriarchal societies. Historically, traditionally, peasant society, mostly in the world, are like that. And we want to move away from those patriarchal societies, exactly to create a space so that women can play an equal role with men without discrimination. We want to get there. But how do you get there? The gender mainstreaming concept and practice is I believe, very important. There was a study that was done in this country in terms of the universities, the teaching staffs. And the basic conclusion was that within the professors and senior lecturers and all those people, there's continuing discrimination against women in terms of that system. And an example was given that, for instance, you have a woman lecturer who's also a mother of a young child. So she comes to lecture here, but at a certain time, she's got to drive to go home to go and breastfeed this infant. So for so many hours, she's away from university. And that impacts on the prospect for her promotion. So that's discrimination, because the men don't breastfeed. So they are at university for 20 hours. Yeah. But she has to leave. She can't be there for 20 hours continuously. So one of the US universities said, in which case, why are we not then creating a situation whereby she does not have to leave university? Let it become the responsibility of the university to create a creche, to have baby minders, so that when Professor so-and-so has got to go and breastfeed, she just walks down the passage. Just it does not lose so many hours, which counts against her in terms of promotions within the university. I'm saying that's an example of gender mainstreaming. When you say that, raise this question, very legitimate question, about what is happening with regard to the matter of women leaders on the continent. The answer has to be that, bearing in mind the reality that we inherit basically patriarchal societies, in order to defeat that patriarchy, you've got to engage in this gender mainstreaming. It's a conscious effort. So that we might very well find women who are, because of this history, the men are very loud at meetings. They know how to shout and to be seen and to be heard and all of that. And the woman is a bit shy, can't. But you want them to be outspoken, to be as vigorous as these men. But you've got to take particular measures in order to create a possibility where you build that confidence so that women can intervene as any other. That's why I'm saying that and talking about this gender mainstreaming. It's got to be a conscious effort. Women's leagues. Political women's leagues are one of the institutions which should be mobilized for this purpose. say it's the task of the Women's League to make sure that the matter about discrimination against women is addressed. And this is what we need to do with regard to that. Yeah. Where you have a persistent problem of absence of African women leaders on the continent, it's really essentially because, in a sense, the progressive movement on the continent is weak. The matter about emancipation of women and so on is a very political matter. And where you have a progressive movement that is very weak, it will perpetuate the patriarchy. So it's a challenge that on the continent to say, what do we do about a matter like this to develop a movement that would engage this issue in a systematic manner? I think that's a particular challenge. Political movement on the continent is not strong enough. That's why they're not doing this particular issue.